is going on, YouTube? This is Mike here, and today I have something that I got so excited about. Literally, it is 1 in the morning right now, and I just found out about this. It is the 10th of February for me. I don't know when I'm putting this video up, but I just got really excited because I found out something awesome, and it has to do with my DC-based Batman shirt. That's right, we're talking about Marvel. So online, I was doing a little research as to like different movies coming out here and there, and then I just saw, holy crap, Sony Pictures is going to be partnering up with Marvel to bring Spider-Man to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And that just blew my mind. I was talking about it with Jeremy. I wish he was here with me right now, but I was talking about it with Jeremy for a while, and I was like, you know what, man? I think Sony is way too greedy of a company, and to work out a deal with Marvel to actually put something together to create an awesome movie with Spider-Man in it. But it actually happened. Like, it's unbelievable. And let me just tell you right now, I absolutely hate the Amazing Spider-Man movies. They suck to me. I didn't like them at all. Especially the second one. Holy crap. What is wrong with people? That movie was so bad, I legit don't even know what to do. Like, I can't even say anything about it. It was that bad. It's just, there's not a single thing I liked about the movie. I love Jamie Foxx as an actor. He was okay as an actor in the movie, but his character sucks. I mean, I never really liked Electro. But anyways, Andrew Garfield, yeah, I saw him in the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, I actually liked that movie a lot. And I think he's great. He's a great actor. But they made Spider-Man suck. They made him into a little girl crying every 5 seconds and all this crap. So let's go over some things that I've noticed, okay? I was doing some more research, and can I just say that the very first Spider-Man that came out made $576 million. Just think about that for a second. $576 million. Okay, the second one was about $100 million less, and then the third one was about $200 million less. I want to say, I can't remember the exact math. There's something off about that, because I know that The Amazing Spider-Man 1 and The Amazing Spider-Man 2 were the two worst grossing movies in the Spider-Man series. Okay, The Amazing Spider-Man 2 made only $202 roughly million as a gross. And you want to know what? That's how much money. Not even that much money. I'd say it should have made less money. That's how much I dislike this movie. I don't even want to talk about it because I get into the subject of talking about it. Like, I'd rather watch Spider-Man 3, which I think is one of the worst movies of all time, over Amazing Spider-Man 2. Amazing Spider-Man 2 literally beats out Spider-Man 3 as the worst movie. Now, Spider-Man 3 is notorious for being a terrible movie because you have the biggest character that is like an antagonist in any Marvel movie or series, which is Venom, and they made him be like such a small character, as well as putting in like Harry, which is like a half of a bad guy, and then the Sandman. Venom and Sandman are Spider-Man's two biggest arch rivals in the entire series of Spider-Man. Okay, but yeah, maybe, you know, you got Lizard, you got Green Goblin, and all this stuff, but I honestly think Sandman and Venom are the two biggest ones. And you put them both in one movie? What is wrong with you? I know this isn't a review of Spider-Man 3. This isn't a review of The Amazing Spider-Man 2. All I know is that the fact that they're going to put Spider-Man in the Avengers... well, they didn't even say that, but I mean, come on. Where else are you going to put him? You know, you can't really pick too many places to put him besides in the Avengers. And can I just say that, like, the fact that... Just that I can't. It's just, I'm so excited about it. I have nothing to say really, and you know, I am kind of upset that like they are rebooting the series again. They're saying that Andrew Garfield is out, and I know that they bumped back Thor 3, and they're gonna release the next movie with Spider-Man in it, where Thor 3 would be. I don't know how I feel about that. Honestly, it kind of sucks because I think it's just a little bit too late to introduce a major superhero in the Marvel universe. I mean, like, you have to think, okay, Marvel is like right in the middle of their like entire series of movies. Yeah, they already have plans all the way out to like 2020, but it's like I think that they just waited too long to get Spider-Man back into the series here. I just think that they are probably going to be wishing they brought him in earlier after they see the release of it, because honestly, we're going to want to see more Spider-Man after we see him in the next movie. I mean, come on, Spider-Man is like literally one of the top like 3 most known superheroes ever. Like, not even in just Marvel. We're talking Marvel, DC, all those other places. Like, literally everybody knows Spider-Man. I don't know one person that doesn't know Spider-Man. Just put it that way. I also know that Sony is keeping all of the rights to Spider-Man, and that also makes me nervous. Because to me, it's like, unless you're Marvel or DC themselves, you can't really put out an awesome superhero movie. I think that, like, okay, let's talk about X-Men real quick. X-Men 3, come on, are you serious? The movie's terrible. Luckily, and I'm not going to give anything away, but Days of Future Past totally redeemed themselves, and good for them, that's awesome. But to me, it's like, every time you hire an outside company to do a movie that is owned by, like, it's just like if you were to have Columbia Pictures put out a live action version of The Lion King. You just don't do that. Disney would know better. Hey, you don't want to do that. Lion King's our baby. We're not going to get rid of it and give it to somebody else. And you want to know what? Marvel thought, I think, that they were going to bite off more than they could chew by making all the movies themselves. But you know what? 2008, when Iron Man 1 came out, and it was unbelievable, they're like, holy crap, why didn't we start out like this? And you know what? You could have had the Wolverine, all the X-Men, Cyclops, Jean Grey, Professor X. You could have had all those guys in the Marvel same universe, and it would have been unbelievable to literally have all the X-Men and every one of the other characters in the Avengers movies. I mean, the thought about that would be unbelievable. That literally blow my mind. But you know what? I'm going to stay hopeful and hope that with this merger, quote-unquote, of Sony and Marvel, hopefully, 20th Century will be like, you want to know what? That's a really good idea. Why don't we do that? And then you want to know what? We'll have X-Men fighting with Iron Man. Holy crap, picture that. Just picture, like, Hugh Jackman over here, and then you got Robert Downey Jr. over here, and they're, like, talking back and forth about how awesome they both are. Oh my gosh, that'd be so sick. So Captain America 3 is most likely going to be the movie where we see the new Spider-Man, which is coming out May 6th, 2016, I think. Then Sony is going to release a brand new Spider-Man movie on July 28th, 2017. And I'm pretty sure that was the original release date of Thor 3, which that movie is going to be pushed back to November of that year in 2017. So there's been a lot of things moving around, and I think that Marvel and Sony made an excellent decision coming together, and like I said, I can't even think of anything really to say. I'm just really excited. I have no idea who they're going to pick to play Spider-Man. If I had my own choice to see who plays Spider-Man, I'd say Sean Connery. No, I have no idea who's going to play Spider-Man. I hope he's good. Honestly, I did like Tobey Maguire playing Spider-Man. I wish that as he developed his character of Spider-Man, he became less geeky, because apparently, he was a geek in the comics, but as he became Spider-Man, he became less geeky, I guess. I don't know. So, like, if they took the beginning parts of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and then mashed it up with Andrew Garfield's kind of attitude later on, I think that would have been a good mix of Spider-Man. Plus, I think Andrew Garfield looks more like Spider-Man than Tobey Maguire does. I mean, either way, both of those are in the past. Luckily, that we're not going to see a third movie for The Amazing Spider-Man 3 because it was ruined in the second one. Hey, why not screw up earlier than later? But then again, we're screwing up twice. Actually, Spider-Man 2 was Spider-Man 3 was your first screw up, like big screw up. Then The Amazing Spider-Man 1 was your... Amazing Spider-Man 1 was like your second biggest screw up, and then 2, oh my gosh. So here are some things that I think Marvel and Sony can do to pretty much resurrect Spider-Man. The first thing I think they need to do is get an actual lead role that can handle the attitude, the demeanor, and pretty much everything that Spider-Man is about. I think that, like I said, Tobey Maguire was good as a geek, Andrew Garfield was good as the kind of cocky jerk kind of guy. Yeah, I know you like my dance. The second thing, let's just forget about the origin of Spider-Man. Okay, we get it. He gets bit by a spider and Uncle Ben dies. Everybody knows that. Come on, it's stupid. We don't need to keep showing that over and over again. It's the same thing, okay? You know, it's cool how superheroes become superheroes. You know, everybody wants to see that. But it's like, the story of Spider-Man is so well known that it's like, we don't need to do that anymore. Let's get past that. Let's just maybe like in the Incredible Hulk, okay? You know, they did flashbacks during the credits of what happened, so you know what happened. Yeah, I'm not talking about Hulk. Not just Hulk. Just Hulk sucked, okay? The Incredible Hulk, they showed bits and pieces, so you kind of get the gist of what happened. But, I mean, come on, it's a Marvel movie. If you don't know how Spider-Man becomes Spider-Man, then there's a problem. You shouldn't be watching Marvel movies. Either that, or you have your friend sitting next to you be like, oh yeah, he got bit by a radioactive spider, and he doesn't know what's going on with his parents, and so he lives with his aunt and uncle. That's all you have to say. And you can literally show that in 2 minutes in the credit scene at the beginning of the movie. The third thing is, you have to show Spider-Man just being awesome. Okay? They have yet to show a Spider-Man movie where I really think Spider-Man is awesome being Spider-Man. Yeah, he's got the cool web slinging. It shows how he learns how to use his powers. In Amazing Spider-Man 2, he creates the web thing in his wrist. But I just want to see him doing some awesome, like, fighting scenes, flying around. Spider-Man is known for his agility and his speed and his awesome web action. I want to see more of that. Just more intense action scenes. It's like, pretty much the only action you see is him just swinging and swinging and swinging. You don't see him doing all this fancy, crazy stuff. Like, especially in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, I didn't see anything that really blew me away. You know, I thought it'd be cool to do that first-person perspective of him flying around, but they barely did that. So it's like, I just think that they need to make his moves more awesome. It's like you see things like the Wolverine, where it's just, some of the stuff he does is just so sick. So that's three major things that I think need to be done to recreate Spider-Man. They're not even big things either. I'm not saying like change a lot. I'm just saying just focus in the right areas. That's pretty much what you need to do. You need to focus on a good actor, get rid of the origin story, and focus on him just being awesome. I mean, look at the Hulk, okay? Nobody cares about how he changes, how he got the gamma radiation. They just want to see him friggin' beat the crap out of everything. That scene in the first Avengers where he grabs Loki and just starts smashing him on the ground, I got so excited. I'm just like, this is the sickest thing I've ever seen. So in the end, pretty much all I'm saying is that I'm so excited to hear this news about Sony and Marvel. I really hope that Spider-Man doesn't suck, okay? I really like Spider-Man. I'm pulling for Sony. You know, the fact that they're keeping all the rights makes me nervous, but you want to know what? I'm happy that at least they're doing something. And I really, really hope that it ends up being just unbelievably awesome. I want them to blow me away. I want to see something I've never seen before. But we're just going to have to wait. Like, we don't know that many details, but we know enough to where we can get just excited enough to where we're all kind of freaking out. Because I don't know about you, but, like, you can see me right now. I'm, like, freaking out right now. So, yeah, so that's all I got to say. I'm, like, out of breath from all that just because I'm, like, so riled up. But I really want to know what you guys think. You know, tell me I'm wrong. You can tell me that Spider-Man 3 was the best Spider-Man ever, because this is just my personal opinions. Tell me what you think. Can't wait to hear from you, and we'll see you next time.